Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The question of duality and unity is one that constantly comes up. What is unity? Why are we in duality? How does one enter into unity? There are lots of ways to approach this question, and there are many answers. It's like a faceted gem. Each one is a partial understanding. Tonight we'll try a partial understanding. We are, in a sensory way, separate from each other, in that you have your body, I have my body, and spatially there seems to be a space between us and everybody else. This gives us at least an beginning understanding that there's some sort of separation between us. And that understanding of a separation between us leads to an understanding that there's more than one, that there's duality. The paradox that we have to be able to climb over and grasp and understand is that unity is found through understanding duality. Through what appears as dual, we need to understand unity. And that's why it says in the Quran, I have made you into different nations so that you can come to know each other. The point being that our differences should show us what really isn't part of us, and we should concentrate on what really is the same among all of us. And in doing that, we would begin to understand unity. But in this world, it's much easier to see us as different from each other, as somehow separate from each other. A young man once went to a wise man and said, "Tell me the difference between comedy and tragedy." And the man answered to him and said, "That's a good question. Yesterday, I was sitting at my desk looking out the window, and my neighbor was fixing his roof. He had gotten on the roof, he had a hammer, he had some nails, he had some shingles, and he was climbing towards the top. As he got there, he began to slip and fall down the roof. Shingle by shingle he tried to grasp, but he couldn't, and slowly he slipped down. Finally, he was hanging on the gutter, and then he fell and hit the ground. That's comedy. This morning, opening my mail, I cut my finger on one of the letters that I opened. That's tragedy. If we can understand the essence of this small joke, we can understand one of the points that separates us from each other. We don't see other people the same as ourselves. If something befalls somebody else, as in the slapstick comedic routine we just talked about, it's funny. If the same thing was happening to us, it wouldn't be very funny. Yet we see a difference. We don't feel the other person's anguish. We don't feel the other person's anxiety. We don't feel the other person's pain. One of the abhorrent qualities is jealousy. But the jealous person sees the one he's jealous of as arrogant and totally is able to reconcile his own feelings based on the other person's arrogance, not on his own jealousy. It's said that one good quality can hide 1,000 bad qualities. One bad quality can hide 1,000 good qualities. We see each other in moments of time, and we are predisposed to judge people by a small impression we get from them. We may hold this impression for a very long time, and we may talk about it to others. The need to talk about others, the need to gossip about others, stops the ability to enter into unity. It's an actual block to the ability to enter. We need to understand, just as we see ourselves as having our better moments and our worst moments, everybody else has their better moments and worse moments. It's not up to us to put them into a particular place. We need to see how similar they in fact are to us. If we look at somebody else and we capture them in a moment of weakness, and then we speak about that moment, we've placed them in a certain position in life. There's another way to explain this. For ourselves, we have free will. We believe that we are going to progress and become better, and God willing, over time, improve in our character and in our being. But for the people that we talk about, we believe in predestination. They are what we saw, they're always going to be what we saw, and they're fated to be that way. As long as we have that kind of feeling about others and a separate feeling about ourselves, we're blocked from unity. We're blocked from understanding unity. Thus, it should become clear that if we're going to enter into a state that's unified, we have to love the creations around us. We can't have negative attitudes towards others. We can't have ideas about others that put them in a place lower than ourselves. We can't despise. We can't hate. We can't have high and low. We can't have praise and blame. We have to love. If we love, then we approach others in a quite different way than other. We approach them as something that's loved. We love ourselves. Shouldn't we love others as we love ourselves? The golden rule is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. At the crux of all of this is actually bringing these understandings into being, bringing these understandings into our life. Stop prejudging. Stop judging. Expect the best. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't put people in boxes or in holes. Don't categorize. Leave those things for others. Stay away from them. Don't do them. As we begin to take these things out of our own system, then we begin to change. Because as we give up negative ideas about other people, we give up negative ideas. A simple concept. If we hold a negative idea about anything, we're a bearer of negativity. When that negativity leaves us, then we can become positive and go towards the good. However, we feel justified in holding certain ideas about others because they deserve it, because they did something to us, because of some sort of interaction that we had, gives us the right to feel the way that we feel. We don't have a right to feel that way. Now, we do have free will. So if we want to feel that way, we certainly can. But we have to understand the consequences of all of these feelings. In order to get right with ourselves, we have to give up everything we have inside of us that stops us from forgiving others. Because until the forgiveness happens, all of those things that need to be forgiven are held inside of us, and we are the bearers of those qualities. So as we proceed to forgive others, as we proceed to love others, we ourselves are opened up to divine love. We ourselves are opened up to divine forgiveness. We ourselves are opened up to divine unity. We become what we carry, what we are. Who we are is dependent on the qualities that we carry. Every time you point a finger at somebody else, you're pointing 3 fingers at yourself. The damage that you do to yourself when you have negative feelings towards others is very great. We need to shed ourselves of these feelings and accept the fact that these kinds of feelings do as much harm or more harm to ourselves than anyone else. When we begin to understand this, when we begin to understand this way of thinking and this way of being, and bring all of this into real action in our life, unity will become available for us. The understanding of unity will become available for us. And our beings will alter. And we will become the bearer of good tidings, good qualities, good actions. And a change will come over our being, and we'll be more pleasant to ourselves, to everyone else, and capable of entering into a unified state with all of existence. It has to happen that way. There is no other way. When we learn this path, inshallah, God willing, that will occur for each of us. Amin. Ya Rabbi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.